In the first case of the West Room are some of Jim Good's eclectic collection, various patches and aircraft-related items, along with a manual Rolodex-style checklist used in the cockpit prior to a flight or after landing. Oh, don't forget to sign the guest registry so we know where our visitors are from. Next to Jim Good's love of aircraft was his love of NASCAR. His favorite driver was number 24, Jeff Gordon. The story of these items goes back to when Jim had a biplane on display that he had built. The plane carried the registration number N24JG, with the JG standing for Jim Good. One day while sitting in the museum, Jim got a call from Jeff Gordon's crew chief, and he asked Jim if he would be willing to sell the registration number so they could use it on Jeff's business jet. Jim graciously said that since he didn't fly the plane, they could just have the number. These items were a thank you from Jeff Gordon. In the case to the left, you'll find a display from 3 generations of Good family's pilots. Jim Good, his son Ed Good, and Ed's stepson Sean are all flyers. Ed proudly tells us that he's happy that even if someday he stops flying, he'll be able to go up with his son, Sean. On the wall above, you'll find a photo of Ed's mother, Dixie, standing next to Jim Good in front of their famous T6 Texan, Wyoming Wildcatter. A photo from earlier days is of Dixie sitting in Jim's Waco UP-F7 biplane that Jim rebuilt after finding it in a barn in Connecticut. Adjacent to the photos is a case with helmets and aircraft representing wars from World War II to Vietnam. At the bottom of this case is a donated photo of a World War I outfit from Kennewack, Washington. The background is a bit obscure, but items like this are never refused when offered to the museum. Standing proudly in the museum is the main display of trophies and belt buckles brought back from Jim Good throughout his many years of racing. Turning the corner, we see mementos of the old Casper Army Air Base. There's a photo of the commanders of the base, as well as a photo of their wives, all decked out in their finest. Being a graduate of Natrona County High School, when former Vice President Dick Cheney would return to Casper, Air Force Two would be parked at Hangar 1. We see a crew autograph photo of Air Force Two, along with other items from the plane and the Secret Service that guarded it. One of the items in the next case goes all the way back to World War I. The Kaiser helmet, or pickle helm, would have been worn in the 19th or early 20th century and was common among the infantry. Next to that, we find a World War II German stormtrooper cap with next to it a German steel helmet with goggles, reminiscent of those worn by General Rommel in North Africa. If you remember from a previous video, Jim Good worked with the Tired Iron Racing Team. On the top shelf, in this case, is a team sticker signed by the legendary Jimmy Doolittle. The faded autograph is at the bottom edge of the sticker. Jimmy Doolittle led the famous payback raid on Tokyo after the bombing of Pearl Harbor at the beginning of World War II. Before we go into the next room, did you remember to sign the guest book? Awesome. Let's see what else we can find.